I know Kabarak has buses, it has a fountain, it has beautiful buildings, but is this enough information for me to know if I was looking for a job here? Well, let's find out. Welcome to Meet the HR Show with me, Laura Nell. Welcome very much, and I'm happy to have you here. And today we have an amazing guest. We had him last week and we were talking about your strengths and your weaknesses and how to address such a question. And today we have something exciting, something amazing for you job seeker, you potential employer, and also you HR looking for a little bit of tips when it comes to interviewing your favorite candidate. Welcome.
Thank you, Laura.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Dr. Simon Kipchumba,
yes,
the Registrar Human Resource, Kabarak University.
Today we're going to talk about why is it important for someone to know about the company. When you go to an interview, you're asked, what do you know about us? What do you know about the company? Why do employers ask such a question?
Now, before we go to why,
yes,
Laura,
yes,
let's first of all look at how you should prepare to answer the why.
The why.
Yes. So whenever you are preparing for an interview, you should actually get to know more about the company.
Okay.
Because the company wants to recruit an individual who is going to pivot the requirements for the job and also the culture of that organization.
So that you don't get a culture shock and decide, hey, this is how these people dress, this is how they carry themselves.
Yes. You know, we subscribe to various values.
Very true.
Yes, so when you are preparing, you should actually get to know about the details about the company where you have been invited,
yes,
to appear before a panel for purposes of placement.
Okay.
Yes.
So what are some of the details that someone needs to know about the company before actually going for that interview?
Now, the details, first of all, you should know about the philosophy of the company, how the company started. And before you look at that,
yes,
you also need to get to know the location of the company.
Yes.
And get to know the various subsidiaries of the company, get to know the other branches. Is it within the locality, within the region,
yes,
or even beyond?
Mission and vision.
Yes. And of course, after understanding those guiding principles of an institution, and then of course you can now get to know what kind of business this institution or organization does. Either there are those businesses which can be on product, services,
yes,
manufacturing, you know, educational sectors, which is more of services, banking. So if you get to know the sector, then of course, based on the requirements of that given position,
yes,
in terms of training, in terms of experience, then qualifications,
yes,
then you'll align your previous experience to these other requirements.
Okay.
Yes.
When I get to know, you've said it's important to know so that you affect things like to prevent yourself from getting culture shock, yes, of your new place of work.
Yes.
When you're knowing about a company, is it important for you to know, for example, the salary that an individual who was holding was being paid? Is it important for you to know?
Okay, in most cases, you know, salary may not be a major driving force.
Yes.
To secure an opportunity in an organization. Some people look beyond the salary.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe someone is looking in terms of that employer who is going to give him other incentives. That employer whose work environment is good and
yes,
conducive.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but the bottom line, of course, is your current position.
Okay.
How much are you getting at that particular time? Because the employer will ask you, now, for you to leave the other company,
yes,
can you price yourself? How much? So that question will always come back to you on the how much or the minimum.
Are you expecting?
Yes, how
much? What is your salary expectation?
Yes, what is your salary expectations? And always they look at minimum for you to accept that offer.
So it's very important to do your research so that when asked such a question, you'll not fidget around and
Yes.
just quote.
Yes,
a
it's
high
very
amount.
important. It's
Yes.
very important, and you can get that information, especially for those people who are doing similar jobs in the
Yes,
market.
yes.
You can also visit some salary surveys which has been done.
Salary surveys.
Yes, and it's available for each job family.
Yes.
So you can actually check on that, and then of course you can price yourself.
It still gets me back to the question, why do potential employers ask that question?
Now, it's important to actually gauge. Sometimes it depends with the position which has been advertised.
Yes.
And I've seen this happening mostly, whereby you'll find someone, the position is at managerial level.
Okay.
Now, and the person has applied for that position,
Yes.
but he has never been to that position of manager. Maybe the lowest salary he has gotten is for a mid-level manager.
Oh.
But this is a senior level manager.
Yes.
Or not even mid-level manager.
Yes.
So you'll find that maybe that position was for a high salary,
Yes.
but you are pricing yourself very low.
Very low.
So that difference actually tells us a lot about the person we are about to hire.
Okay.
Because some positions hold more responsibilities
Yes, than others.
And those responsibilities actually resonates with the remuneration.
Is it important for you to actually go there physically and see what is the job environment around there
Now,
before the interview?
How do you know about that?
Yes.
Now, of course, there are various ways of knowing an organization. One, you can actually check in the online platform, that
Yes.
is the company's website. You will actually get a brief snapshot about the company. You can also check on some maybe previous magazines, newspapers, bulletins which the company has published. You can also get from the people who are currently working there.
Yes.
If you have some connections, then you ask, they will tell you about the company.
Okay.
And then of course, you can also maybe through referrals.
Yes.
That is employees who have worked in that organization before.
Yes.
And they will tell you more about that company.
Okay.
So getting information about the company is very, very important.
And I can go there physically?
Yes, you can also visit if you are within the proximity of that company.
Yes.
Why not? Just go as any other visitor. Yes.
But you're busy surveying and looking.
Yes, and
at how
checking,
things
and
are.
of course when you'll be appearing, maybe you'll be asked, have you been to this institution before?
Yes.
Then you said yes. Then they'll ask, what do you like about the institution? Maybe the environment,
Yes.
maybe the customer care you got,
The people.
maybe, yeah, you just visited like any other visitor.
Yes.
There's no harm if you are within that proximity.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you get to the website, you get to look at it, and you look at the values, and they match your values. But coming to some of the news that, or the reviews that are being given about the place, it's very wrong, or it's very biased. Is it okay for you to bring such a thing in an interview?
Now, I believe whenever you are checking online, you will always get those mostly positive,
Yes.
and to some extent maybe negative. Now, you cannot pick the negative to use against the organization. Look at the positive side, especially on the growth,
Yeah.
the expansion, on the performance in terms of profits which are making,
Yes.
on the customers' feedback, suppliers' feedback, and so forth.
Yes.
And also look at the current employees. Are they happy working in that organization? So sometimes we cannot entirely rely on
The websites
the
and the
website
reviews.
and then the reviews, which actually does not relate with the performance. But sometimes we expect that whenever there is such a comment in the website,
Yes.
we expect the organization to have responded. So check on the response which the organization
Have been
given,
able to give them.
because that will be the right position.
Yes.
And by the way, whenever you are checking at looking at about the organization,
Yes.
because you are actually selling yourself and presenting yourself, that you understand the organization in terms of the product and services.
Yes.
You understand the culture, you understand the values which the organization stands for.
Yeah.
So you must be very specific and precise to what the organization stands for,
Okay.
and also the business which the organization does.
So your highlighted points when asked such a question is look at the culture of the organization,
Yes.
the environment,
Yes.
and so forth.
That's true.
Is it okay for you to accept, if given the position, you're willing to move to that area?
Now, of course, you'll have done your prior research
Yes.
about the organization, and you'll have consulted your family. You have consulted other stakeholders around you. For example, if you have a family member, so the question you'll be asked, are you moving in with the family?
Yes.
Yes. For example, if it's a job in the UK and it has that allowance of going with the family, they will ask you. Now, so it's very important to
Yes.
actually confirm that to the employer, that we have discussed this with the family, we have discussed this with my partner, and I'm ready, we are ready to move in and settle.
So it's important to know that.
Yes, important.
And also it's important for a person to know whether the organization offers housing. For example, we find most institutions or schools offer housing, they offer different services. It's very important.
Yes, the incentives which the company gives,
Yes.
including the housing, maybe car allowances, and so forth. It's important to ask that, especially depending on the nature of the business. You know, there are those business which is more of outdoor. There are those which is within the organization. So it's important to ask all those so that whenever you are deciding whether to take up the job or not, it will actually inform your decision.
Get your facts right, do your research, and ensure that you know what the company is all about. Because most of the time people just go for an interview and they know very little about the company.
Yes.
So when they reach there, it's a very huge problem.
That's true.
So what are some of the do's and don'ts when researching about a company?
Of course, whenever you are researching about a company,
Yes.
look at the latest, look at the facts
Okay.
about that company, especially the latest information touching on maybe, sometimes some of these companies are leading organizations across the globe. So if that company is actually a leading company, don't fail to speak about it.
Yes.
Yeah, if it is a company which are, you know, they are expanding
Yes.
very fast, then of course don't fail to mention that, because those are some of the attributes which the employer wants to hear. And then you'll actually see that you have aligned your thoughts and your expectations towards those performance of the company.
Yes.
So always look at the performance trends of the
Company.
Yes. Or the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course look at also the employees,
Yeah.
the structures, especially the executive. Look at their leadership style, their management style. Look at how they make decisions. Is it informed decisions or not?
Yes.
So based on those attributes, actually someone will say that this person knows the company and understands the company, and he has aligned his thoughts and his expectations to the wishes of the company.
Yes.
Mark two, the employer wants to see the value which you are bringing to the company.
So they just don't want an extra baggage. What
Yes.
extra thing are you bringing to the company?
You are bring to the company.
Yes.
So if you can actually align those your personal attributes in terms of your competencies and also innovativeness and creativity.
What culture you bring into
Yes,
the company?
and align to what the company
Yes.
is pursuing, then of course you have higher chances to actually get that job.
Okay. You were talking about how a company, you have been able to note how it is growing fast and everything. How do you address that so that you don't look greedy when looking at all the incentives and all the good parts being brought by the company?
Now, of course, everybody will associate with success.
Very true.
Every company will always associate with someone who talks positive,
Yes.
and who can market their products and services. So, for example,
Yes.
if a company has launched a new product and that product is selling, is actually taking the larger market share
Yes.
within that business environment, then of course you need to associate yourself
With such a company?
with such a success and such innovativeness in that company.
Yes.
And of course, when you associate yourself, then you have actually demonstrated that there is something you are bringing to the company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to bring an additional thing to that company.
That's true.
Okay, I have a relative or a family friend who is working in that company. When telling them about if I know their company and mention that, is it a plus or I'm trying to bring conflict of interest?
You know, whenever you mention a company,
Yes.
Laura, when you mention a company, it's a plus.
Even if you know people working within?
There's no harm. We are in business, you know, normally there
Yes.
is no friendship in business.
That's true.
In business, people compete.
You leave the friendship outside and you enter
Yes,
inside.
and you are competing for that market share. You are competing to actually do better than your
Other competitor.
Yes. And it also depends, for you to outdo your competitor, it depends with the competitive advantage which you have as an institution. And that competitive advantage,
Yes.
one of it is the employees. If you have good, motivated, and reliable employees,
Yes.
then that is your competitive advantage.
So there
And
you've
therefore,
gotten it.
whenever you mention, because the association of the company based on the competencies and also the reliability of the employees will actually demonstrate that even you yourself,
You know about the company.
you know about the company and you like their products.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, various companies don't have websites. For example, the ones that haven't embraced technology, even though technology is growing every day, how should someone go about it? They don't have a website and they don't have details there. How is the best possible way to reach such a company?
Are there companies without website, Laura?
Yes, there is.
Because I thought
They might be having a
tend to think-
website, but they tend to post less. For example, if you look at their Facebook account, their Twitter, their Instagram, it's very inactive. So it's very hard for you to see what culture they embrace, what exactly they do. They just give mission, vision, final. How do you go about that?
Yeah. Okay, so but mostly, I think most companies, even the small, the recent,
The ones that have joined the market.
joined the market. Of late, it's one of the things that you need to have a website, and especially after COVID,
Yeah.
how do you operate without how do you sell yourself? How do you market yourself?
They've given their mission and vision,
Yeah.
and to them, they feel that's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, in such a scenario, I can assume these are small micro businesses.
Yes.
Yes, business ventures, and therefore maybe in terms of structures,
Yes.
they are very lean
Okay.
in terms of personnel.
Yes.
So in most cases, it is through referrals because they are not physical in the web,
Yes.
and therefore you can only refer a person or make a visit, and then of course or call that company for more information if you need some information.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's very important for even businesses to appreciate those trends.
Yes.
The way we're talking about trends and how things are changing, it's very important the job seeker and as well as the other person to be able to know what is exactly happening in the company.
The company.
Okay, what is your parting shot to a graduate who has just finished school and is looking for a job, but when it reaches the interview level, that is where they fail?
To the candidates who are looking for a job, of course, there are those who already have jobs, but they want to change jobs.
Yes.
And then there are new entrants into the market. Yes, the only word I'll leave to you is that the world is competitive.
Yes.
But people who have integrity, people who have competencies required for the job, and people who can demonstrate confidence in terms of deliverables, which is required for the job. So those people are few. But if you can package yourself in that manner, for sure you will be the candidate for the job.
Yes.
So I will urge everybody or anybody who applies for an opportunity, you know, once you have been shortlisted,
Yes.
your chances of getting that job, you have equal opportunity with any other person who has been shortlisted.
It's like a race, a competition.
Yes.
Both of you are on the track lane.
Yes.
It just depends on how you present yourself.
Yes, and once you have made to that shortlisting,
Yes.
that means the chances for you to win or get an opportunity to serve in that capacity,
Yes.
it's high.
It's very high.
Yes, but before you get shortlisted, you need to ask yourself, where are you, what are you not doing right?
So what are you not doing right?
Yes, if you address that question,
Yes.
then of course in the next level, then you may make to the shortlisting.
Okay.
After shortlisting, then you ask yourself the same question. Why not you? Where
Why
did
the
you
other
go wrong?
person? Yes.
So that in the next interview, God willing,
Yes.
then of course you'll have addressed those problems. You go back to do research and address those problems and fill those gaps.
Yes.
So that in the next consideration, you can be the right person.
So is it okay for you like to ask the results of your interview so that just in case you don't make it, you can be able to know if I would have answered this way, I could have gotten this way. Is it okay for you ask for the results and after how long?
Yeah, no, normally most companies will tell you, will give you feedback after this
certain,
period,
yes.
certain time frame.
Yes.
So when they give you feedback, that is the time to ask you, what should I improve? Which area should I improve?
Yes.
And I think any HR person will help you, give you the information on areas to improve, so that
Yes.
next time you can be considered.
Most of the time you apply, after applying you're like, if I don't get it, it's okay. So it's very important to do that follow-up.
Yes, follow-up is very important. Follow-up, and that is why even in the current HR practice,
Yes.
after interview,
Yes.
you are asked, what, do you have any questions?
Exactly.
Yes, and that's a follow-up questions to
Okay.
actually address and clear some of the things which are not clear to you,
So you need
Yeah.
to ask some of the questions after the interview.
if they ask.
Okay.
Yes.
And for example, most of the people, they keep on saying, if you see the interview is long, you have gotten that job. But if it is short, that's a problem. Could you help break that down so that people stop having such myths and misconceptions?
Okay, there is no relationship between the time frame which you take, whether long or short, when you are being interviewed.
Yes.
But however, normally if it takes much time, it means some things were not clear.
Oh.
And the panel wanted to clarify some issues.
Yes.
Actually, in most, especially the panel interview, where you have people interviewing one person, and these people are from various departments. Maybe there's a resource person,
Yes.
you know, and some things are not clear. Then, of course, the individual will pursue to get the information clarified.
Yes.
But if your answers are straightforward, why should I pursue it further?
You'll just, okay, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Next
yeah.
question.
Yes, next question, and
Yes.
it goes on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having us. This has been a very interactive discussion, and I hope you at home you have been able to get one or two from Meet the HR with Dr. Simon Kipchumba. It has been an amazing talk. So till next time, my name is Laura Nell on Meet the HR Show.